Hey YouTube, Tom Bombadil here, smoking my McQueen Seafarer pipe with some Highland Cigars Black Gold. And this is going to be a Tolkien Talk. But before we dive into things, I wanted to address a few things. First off, Paul Pipe Wizard 86 gave me a shout out in his 5/55 video. Paul, from one pipe brother to another, I just want to say thanks, man. It really means a lot. I love your channel. As you guys already know, I've talked about Paul in recent videos, but if you're not already subscribed to Paul, Pipe Wizard 86, please head over to his channel and subscribe, man. He runs a great channel. He loves Tolkien just as much as I do, and puts out some very high effort interactive videos. Second off, now I said in my last video I'm going to do a Tolkien Talk, and I put a challenge up to my friends in the pipe community to guess who one of my favorite characters in The Lord of the Rings was. And my good friend Peter Serino actually guessed it was Tom Bombadil, or Tom Bombadil. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but in this video I'm pronouncing it Bombadil. And also, Peter, you get a Tolkien token. Now I'm not really sure what that is, but it does mean something. And it really just sounds like a tongue twister. Tolkien. Actually, I can't even say it twice. Also, did y'all notice the very good ability of a church warden to point at things? Boom, boom, boom. If I was ever a college professor, I wouldn't have one of those pointy things, man. I would have a pipe. Maybe like a 3-foot long pipe, and I would just, I don't know, maybe not 3 feet, maybe 2 feet. And I would use that, you know, instead of a laser pointer, I'm going old school on it. But all comedy aside, this is going to be about Tom Bombadil. And who is Tom Bombadil? Now, Tom is not very much mentioned in the Tolkien mythos. Mentioned very briefly. Now, Tolkien actually wrote a poem about Tom Bombadil called The Adventures of Tom Bombadil. And pretty much in this, he's pretty much a personified spirit of nature, I would say. And this is nothing strange to what Tolkien borrows from as far as English mythology and Norse mythology. You know, usually in things like this, trees and the sun and the moon are all personified as different beings, and animals are given, you know, more, I guess, human characteristics. But Tom is also married to Goldberry, who is the river's daughter. Now, what does that mean? Is Goldberry a spirit? Is Goldberry, you know, a spirit personified? Because obviously the hobbits can see her. Is she an elf? I really don't know. It's very interesting. But that's what makes it so interesting. That's why Tom is one of my favorite characters, because curiosity is my, I guess you could call it my crutch, or my crux. It is the bane to my determination, because once I get curious with something, I immediately drop what I'm doing. I gotta look it up. I have a very inquisitive mind, and I think this is pretty much a common characteristic among pipe smokers. Because pipe smokers, I mean, at least for me, I started smoking a pipe because I was inquisitive, or curious about it. You know, I said, you know, what is pipe smoking? Why do people enjoy that? And then I kind of got caught up in looking all about pipes, you know, and I had to get a certain pipe. I had to get the McQueen because I really liked the Lord of the Rings, and eventually here I am making pipe videos on YouTube. So being so curious and having such an inquisitive mind about Tom Bombadil, I had to really dive deep, and there's not much on Tom Bombadil. You know, there's and what there is about him is highly interesting, because Tom's mentioned by Elrond when they're called for council. You know, in the Fellowship of the Ring, they call them all to council, to the secret council that was actually not secret to Merry and Pippin and Sam. But they're called to talk about what to do with the ring. And in the book, Elrond actually mentions Tom Bombadil as one who would be able to hold the ring. Now, this is quite interesting because, you know, Gandalf is seen as one of the most powerful figures in Middle-earth. I would say he is. Well, I can't say that he is. Well, when you add Tom Bombadil in the mix, you know, because Gandalf says that he can't hold on to the ring because it would turn him into an evil being. So is Lady Galadriel, who's also seen as a very powerful figure in Middle-earth. So what we're left is that Tom's able to do it. And why? What powers does Tom Bombadil possess? He obviously isn't of the same stock as Gandalf. He obviously isn't in the same stock as a hobbit. And, you know, as you know, if you've seen the movies or read the books, Frodo is the one who ultimately takes on the ring. Although he does fall kind of captive to the ring towards the end and throughout, he's able to handle the powers of the ring much more than one of the Maiar, the wizards, or the elves. But, you know, Tom Bombadil seems to have the same characteristics as Frodo. So if I had to guess who or what Tom Bombadil is, I would have to say that Tom is probably, he's probably of some of the same, he's kind of like a Maiar, like the wizards. And it's very difficult to say. He's definitely not a normal man, he's not a wizard, and he's not a hobbit. So there's a lot left to the mind to decide. And this is one of the reasons why I love Tolkien. Is that, you know, there's a lot of open-ended stories for us to think about, for us to explore. And, you know, there's a few things like that, like the Ent wives, for instance. You know, we never find out what happened to the Ent wives. We never find out what happened to the two blues. There's 5 wizards, the Saruman the White, Gandalf the Grey, Radagast the Brown, and the 2 blues. Some Tolkien scholars say that they went off to the Eastern and got turned into evil. Some people say that they did their job sent down by the Valar, and they went back to the Undying Lands. We really don't know. So Tom Bombadil interests me. He's one of my favorite characters in the series because he's one of the most interesting characters, seeing that he's left so open-ended. And you can really make up whatever you want about Tom Bombadil. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoyed my Tolkien Talks. In the comments below, leave what you think about Tom Bombadil. Who is he? What does he do? But as always, this has been the Long Bomb Leafer, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys.